In this video, I'm going to show you how to actually trigger the Spotify's algorithm in 2026 so you can start planning next year with clarity, increase your streams, grow your monthly listeners, and start building a real fan base. Everything I'm about to share comes from running hundreds of campaigns here in Independent, millions of streams using the strategy I'm gonna walk you through, and over 1,000 artists whose 1-year historical data logs we analyzed. What we found were patterns that completely changed the way we think about the Spotify algorithm. By the end of this video, you will have a clear roadmap on how to trigger it, what you need to be doing today to increase your chances of getting algorithmic pushes, and how to turn casual listeners into real fans. Let's get started. If you're an independent artist, there are two main ways to trigger the Spotify's algorithm. Option number 1, organic content. TikTok and Instagram Reels can absolutely blow up your song, but they require a high volume of highly engaging content every day for months. It works, but it is time-consuming, energy-draining, and unpredictable because social media algorithms change constantly. Your option number 2 is meta ads. This requires a learning curve and a monthly budget, but you only set it up once a month and it is far more reliable. With paid traffic, you can directly target people who are most likely to enjoy your music, and you can track exactly what is working and what is not working. After running thousands of tests, the most sustainable and consistent approach is by using meta ads. They are reliable, predictable, and the fastest way to start building a real fan base because you're not waiting for people to discover you. You're putting your music directly to listeners who are most likely to care. And when they land on your streaming platforms through ads, that's where the relationship begins. You're opening the door to your world, inviting them in, and you're giving them a first impression that actually leads somewhere. Eventually, you convert casual listeners into real fans who invest in you, who stick around, buy merch, support you on Patreon, and ultimately show up on your shows. Regardless of which growth path you choose, you can't build a real fan base without consistently delivering value. That means releasing a new song every 4 to 6 weeks. Once you break that rhythm, the algorithm will stop favoring you as much, and there goes the momentum that you have gained. To avoid that, we highly recommend building your own systems, and these are the following things that you need to do when considering building the systems. The first one, as we already mentioned, release a song every 4 to 6 weeks. The second one is distribute your song at least 10 days before the release so you get release radar to trigger properly and you have enough time to pitch to editorial playlists. The odds of landing into one are low, but there's zero downside in submitting. Prepare the cover art in advance so it never delays your distribution. And finally, don't overthink production. Done is better than perfect, and the songs you doubt are often the ones that listeners connect with the most. For example, Nico Gent, the founder of Independent, was skeptical in releasing In the Dark, and it now has more than 70 million streams on Spotify alone. You are always your own harshest critic. Now we get into the most important part of this video, the Spotify popularity score. Have you ever wondered why one song gets pushed by Discover Weekly, Release Radar, Dailies, Your DJ, etc., while others doesn't? Behind the scenes, Spotify assigns every track and every artist a hidden score from 0 to 100 based on how well they perform in comparison to others. You won't see it inside Spotify for Artists, but it is accessible through Spotify's API. This score determines whether Spotify pushes your song into algorithmic playlists or not. And here's what our analysis of 1,000 artists over 1 year revealed. The number one driver of your popularity score is the velocity of streams to your song. The more real streams you drive in a short period of time, the higher the score spikes. And the bigger the spike, the longer it takes to fall. And every time you spike a track's popularity score, your artist's popularity score also increases. That means future releases start with better algorithmic traction, and older releases continue getting fed into the algorithmic playlists. We also discovered clear threshold points. Spotify seems to boost songs whenever they hit certain popularity tiers: 20, 30, 40, 60, 80, and so on. A jump from 38 to 40 might look like just 2 points, but it is actually a huge increase in algorithmic push. Some quick references: Taylor Swift, her artist popularity score is 100. Somber, Back to Friends, has more than 1 billion streams and his song has a 92 popularity score. Chapel Roan has an artist score of 82 and her top song has 89. Raz has an artist score of 73 and his top song has 74. And finally, Nico Jam has an artist score of 52 and his most streamed song In the Dark has 52. And that is the scale we're working with. So, how do you actually raise your popularity score and build a consistent strategy around it? It really comes down to 4 steps. The first one, release a song every 4 to 6 weeks. Drive real, organic and targeted listeners to the track in the first 48 hours, first 7 days and the first 28 days. Spike the popularity score of your track as much as possible and therefore spiking the artist's popularity score. And finally, repeat the cycle, but now with a much higher artist popularity score. This creates compounding growth because every release boosts the next one. But now you might be wondering, how do I consistently reach real targeted listeners? And the answer to that is Meta Ads. Meta owns both Instagram and Facebook, and it is one of the most powerful marketing tools in the world. When optimized properly, it will find people who are most likely to enjoy your specific song. It is insanely effective, but the problem is that it wasn't built for musicians. It was built for e-commerce companies, and that is why the setup can feel overwhelming and too complicated. So, let me show you exactly how to set up streaming conversion campaigns step by step. Great, so now we are inside Ads Manager, and if you don't know how to get here, just click on adsmanager.facebook.com. I'm going to assume you already have an ad account, but if you don't, just drop a comment down below and we can make a full setup tutorial about that. First step is clicking on the create button on the left, the green one, and here all we choose is the campaign objective. And for streaming conversion campaigns, we choose either sales or leads. And here's how it works. When someone sees your ad and clicks on the Listen Now button on Instagram, lands on your Smart Link page and clicks on the play button on their preferred streaming platform, Meta records that action as a conversion and it will try to find more people like that, listeners who are most likely to enjoy your music. Also, keep in mind that the UI might look different than what you're seeing on your screen because Meta tests new layouts pretty much every week. Great, now I'm gonna choose leads, click on continue. So we have 3 levels, the campaign level, the ad set level, and the ad level. So at the campaign level, you only choose your objective. At the ad set level, you choose your conversion settings, your audience, and your placements. And at the ad level, you just upload your creative and paste the destination URL. And just a quick note, at the campaign level, we recommend changing the campaign budget to the ad set budget because we like to manually allocate $5 to each specific ad set so we can test everything equally before optimizing. The campaign name, I'm just gonna name it test campaign, and then on the ad set level is where things start getting interesting. So on the ad set name, I'm just gonna go for ad 1 and then house music in this specific scenario because I'm gonna upload house music song. But all we do here is keep everything organized because it is super important when it comes to optimizing your campaign. The conversion is just where you choose the conversion location to be. In this case is website because we're driving people into Tonden. And then the performance goal, it is maximize number of conversions because what Meta will do is try to show your ads to the people most likely to take a specific action on your website. And in this case, the action is when they click on the play button on the Smart Link. And the data set is the Meta Pixel. It is a unique piece of code that lives on your website, in this case your Smart Link, and it tracks the information of the specific person. When you run an ad to people on Instagram and they take the full funnel of clicking on the play button and listening to your song on Spotify, Meta learns to show your ad to those specific kind of people. It knows those people's interests based on their behavior on Instagram and will show your ad to similar people in the future as well. So the conversion event in this specific scenario, I'm choosing view content. And this conversion event varies depending on which Smart Link you're using. For example, if you're using Tonden or Submit Hub, the conversion event will be view content. If you were to use Hyped, the conversion event would be Hyped Smart Link click. If you were to choose Future FM, the conversion event would be FM click. But we usually always use Tonden, so view content. We don't touch anything here. We scroll down and on the daily budget, we always allocate $5 or €5 in this case. And then on the audience, Notice that on the top right it says advantage plus on, and we need to deactivate that because otherwise Meta will not respect our controls and our settings as much, and this affects with the performance of your ads. And in order to do so, we click on further limit the reach of your ads, and it actually sounds bad, but it is quite the opposite. So we click on this option, switch setup, and notice that now we have more control in the age, genders, detailed targeting, and languages. For the locations, I'm just gonna type in the combination of tier 1 and tier 2 countries that we usually go for, and I'm just gonna paste it here all at once. So Ctrl V, select countries, and match locations. I think there are like 34 different countries that we usually aim for. Yes, 34. And you can even save this list to use it again later. So I'm gonna click on that, add 34 locations, and you can just name it, for example, tier 1 and tier 2, save list, and then you can use it later here, much easier. Close this, and then on the age, this depends on your genre and if you already have some information and data into what your audience falls under, but we usually just stick with 18 to 44, and it is super important that you deselect this option where it says use as a suggestion. Once we do that, you will notice that the advantage will be now turned off, which is what we want. Here, custom audiences, we don't touch anything. Detailed targeting is where we try to find the people who are most likely to enjoy our song. In this case, my song is gonna be house music, so I'm just gonna type in house music, and then we click on define further, and here we type in Spotify. And this means that a person that enjoys house music and also has Spotify as his streaming service will most likely enjoy your ad. And by the way, if this feels super overwhelming and complicated and you want to skip this whole manual setup, jump into this timestamp. We built a software that does everything for you in under 5 minutes with the strategy already baked in. And trust me, you will save a lot of time and energy in the process. And I'm gonna also give you a sweet discount as well there. But anyways, back to Meta. So here on the beneficiary is just the person who pays for the ads. This is me. And then we scroll down until we have the placements. On the placements, it is super important to only leave Instagram. Why? Because when you include Facebook, Audience Network, Threads, and Messenger, you can get pretty cheap conversions when it comes to cost per result, but those conversions don't translate into streams, so you just spend the money. So all I'm gonna do is deselect Facebook, deselect Audience Network, Threads, Messenger, and then also this one, allow limited spend to excluded placements. We don't want that. And then we click on placement controls, feeds, and we usually just aim for Instagram feed, stories, and reels. So I'm gonna deselect everything else, explore, we don't want that. And then we close this, and on the stories, profile reels, we don't want that either. And then search results. It doesn't affect too much if you leave profile reels, but it is really up to you. Perfect. So that is it when it comes to the ad set level. Now we click on next, and we now land on the ad level. Just to keep everything organized, I'm gonna name this ad 1. And the key here is simplicity. It really goes a long way. And the idea is that what you see and what you hear must feel cohesive. You need to hook people in the first 3 seconds, otherwise they will just scroll. And trust me, you don't need super complicated visuals or high quality production. And we actually made a full video discussing the 6 different types of ad angles that you can make for your song, so check it out. I'm gonna also leave it in the description. The identity, this is just myself, and then I'm scroll down, single image or video, multi-advertiser ads, we like to deselect this option, and on the destination, on the website URL, here's where we will paste Toned link. This is how a Toned link looks. It's pretty straightforward. Your cover art, your artist name, your song name, and then the available streaming platforms that you have. Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer. So anytime someone clicks on the play button, Meta will register a view content event. Great. So I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna paste it here, and that's pretty much it. And then we scroll down, browser add-ons, we click on none. We don't want anything else. And here is where we're gonna actually upload the visual. So we click on video ad. On the top, I like to eliminate this source URL, because once you do that, all the site links will be deselected as well, and the site links usually has nothing to do with your song. And then we'll click on next, and here we can start choosing the visuals itself. I'm gonna go for ad 1, which I believe is called the first video for my song. Click on next, skip and continue. And here, honestly, I have tested both original, one-on-one recommended. I haven't seen major differences, but I just like to stick with the one-on-one recommended. We can even see how this looks. As you can see, a 16-second ad, and it is pretty straightforward. The lyrics in the first seconds with matching visual, and then I showcase the cover art with the title of the song and a call to action, and finally a reinforcing CTA, which in this case is listen now. And then we click on next, and on the primary text we usually like to have the name of the song, out now, and an emoji that matches with the mode of your song. In this case my song is called Did You Forget to Feel, and then out now, and then I'm gonna drop an emoji, which in this case can be the great heart. Then the advanced creative text generation, I always leave them off. Right now it's not showing, there we go. We leave them off, and then I also deselect everything here. And finally the call to action, we need to change it from learn more to listen now, which is right below. Perfect. So now we click on next, and honestly on enhancements I also like to deselect everything. I don't trust the AI visual touch-ups and text improvements. And now we click on done, and the video is uploading. Now this is like the basic setup that we go for, and notice that we only have one visual with one target interest. But the whole idea of the strategy is that you need to test as much as you possibly can, because you never know which visual with which target interest is going to be the one that is going to resonate the most with people. So in this case, add one targeted to house music is not enough. So in this case, I'm gonna target another target interest, and all I need to do is click on the three dots on the ad set level, quickly duplicate. Remember to deselect the Advantage Plus. We don't want that. We don't want this on the audience nor in the placements. So duplicate original setup, and now we change the name. And in this case, I'm gonna target electronic music, which is the biggest in terms of the audience size. Cool. And then all I need to do is scroll down until find the audience, which in this case is here. Eliminate house music, and now I'm gonna eliminate this as well, because I'm gonna type in electronic music. Perfect. Then we scroll up, define further again by Spotify, it's already here. Great. So now we're targeting people who enjoy electronic music in general, not only house music. Right now we're having the same visual, add one, which is this one, targeted to both house music and electronic music. And then you repeat that process for the remaining target interests and visuals that you have. If you want to upload another visual, for example, you duplicate the ad set level again, deselect the Advantage Plus, make sure to change the name. But now instead of changing the target interest, we're uploading the second visual. So add two, and then we go to the ad level of this specific ad set. We change the ad name to add two to keep everything organized, and we scroll down until we find the trash icon. We hit on the trash icon, add media, add video, and then we click on next. And here I'm just gonna type in add two, and hopefully it's gonna be here pretty soon. There we go. Add two, next, one-on-one recommended. Primary text is already gonna be embedded. Make sure to turn off this AI if you don't trust too much AI in this specific scenario, and done. Now, how do you actually optimize your campaign? So in order to do that, we click on the X button on the top left, and then let's assume and let's pretend that the campaign has already been running and it is active for a couple of hours. Then scroll to the right, and we have three really important columns: the amount spent, the cost per result, and the results a little bit on the left. So the rule of thumb that we go by is when an ad set, let's pretend it's this one, add to house music. When this ad set has spent between $1 and $3, we can check the cost per result column, and if it is where you want it to be, leave it on, but if it's not where you want it to be, turn it off. And what we consider anything worth keeping in the first day especially is anything below 50 cents, and of course ideally anything below 30 cents is really good. and all you gotta do is repeat that process for the remaining ad sets that your campaign has. Now, some general recommendations when it comes to meta ads. Test different creatives, different target interests, and different sections of your song, because trust me, you never really know which combination in terms of the visuals and the targeting is gonna be the one that resonates most with your audience. Make decisions based on data, not based on what you feel or what you think, and please be patient. Everyone sucks at ads in the beginning, but you only learn by doing. Now, as I mentioned, if you want to skip the steep learning curve that meta ads has and you want to save a lot of time and energy in the process, we actually build a software that does everything for you called Intelligent. This software lets you launch and optimize campaigns literally in less than 5 minutes. So now we're gonna head over to Intelligent, and this is how the UI looks. And once you connect your meta account, your meta ad account, which in my case is named Shelter, it literally takes like 5 minutes to connect, we can start building the campaign. Notice that it gives you some numbers about your artist project, and then you can scroll down. You can even see the correlation between the meta ad spend and the monthly listeners, your total streams, the followers, your artist popularity score, and also the top tracks, and much more. But for the purpose of this video, I'm gonna set up a campaign. Now, once your meta account is connected, I'm gonna show you how quickly it is to set up a campaign using the software. So we click on go to campaigns or no campaigns yet. Now you get two options, the Gen campaign and the Steady campaign. As I already mentioned in this video, we highly recommend the Gen campaign, which is front-loaded spending pattern, daily optimization require much higher ROI, and it is optimized for releases. And it also gives you an explanation on why this campaign is recommended. Now we click on continue. This is just what you need before you launch a campaign, 3 simple steps. Then we click on continue, and the first thing that is going to ask you is how much you want to spend on your campaign. In this specific scenario, as an example, I'm just gonna put in 200 euros. It also detects the currency of your ad account, which is super nice. And then it explains you how many campaigns it's gonna build and how many creatives it is recommended. This varies, of course, depending on the budget. If you were to spend, for example, 1K on your song, it recommends 5 campaigns with 11 creatives. And just for you to know, each campaign is one target interest. In this case, I'm just gonna hit on 200 euros. I click on next, and then it recommends 6. So let's go ahead and upload 6. And it tells you how it's gonna spend based on a 28-day pattern, which is also tied to Spotify popularity score. So on the first day, it's gonna spend 25% of your budget, so 50 euros, day 2, 36, and so on and so forth, until we get to the 28. Now we click on next. On the campaign name, I'm just gonna name it test campaign. This is just your ad account, your pixel, your Facebook page, your Instagram page, and now we click on next. And now you get to choose whether you want to use third-party landing page like Hyped, Toned, etc., or you can use the built-in intelligent landing page. So in this case, I'm going to use the built-in smart link provided by Intelligent, and my song has already been released, so I can even search for the song here. There we have it. Did you forget to fill Shelter? We click on this and it will auto-populate the title, the description, the URL slug, and the services. In this case, it will detect the Spotify automatically, and if you were to add more, you can for sure add it. Apple Music, YouTube, Deezer, you name it. And then you click on done, and here's how the smart link will look. You can even customize this. So you can change the background. So now I usually go for image. It matches with the cover art, and you can even change the call to action. So it is by default play, but you can even type in listen or wherever you want to have it. I'm just gonna leave it on play. Perfect. So now we click on next, and here's where you choose your target interests. So by default, you have the broad campaign. It is no targeting because we have found out that even if you don't target anything, you leave it completely blank, completely broad, Meta will reach the desired people for you, because nowadays Meta's AI is super powerful. My first campaign is gonna be a genre campaign, and in this scenario, it's gonna be house music, same as I did with Meta. And it will find the target interest for you. Click on house music, and that's it. Then when it comes to countries, we're gonna add tier 1 and add tier 2 countries. If you don't want to target a specific country, you can click on the X button and there you go. Then on the age, same as we did with Meta, I'm gonna leave it to 44. And on the campaign schedule, it says all campaigns run for exactly 28 days because it is based on the 28-day cycle on the Spotify popularity score. So start date, in this scenario is gonna be today. It shows you that it's gonna start today and it will end on December 19th. We click on next and this is literally the final step. So now all we gotta do is upload the creatives and you can batch upload. So I'm gonna select all 6 and upload, and there we go. All the videos are gonna be uploaded on Intelligent and on Meta Ads. Once it finishes uploads, that's literally it. You can even customize the primary text, same as we did on Meta. Did you forget to feel out now, and an emoji that matches with the mood of the song. There we go. Now the second video is already uploaded. I'm gonna paste the primary text and now we just gotta wait for the videos to upload. And how long it takes for the videos to upload, it usually depends on your file size. Great, so now that the creatives have been uploaded, all we gotta do is click on next, and here is a summary of your campaign. The genres, the amount of campaigns, the ad sets, the creatives, how much it's gonna spend per ad set, and then the name, the total budget, the countries, etc. Make sure to check this box. I understand that Gen campaigns front load the ad spend, so I need to come back every day and press optimize. A really cool feature inside Intelligent is that with one button, you can optimize the campaign. So now all I gotta do is click on launch to campaigns and it will launch the setup for us. And there we go. So now the campaigns launch successfully. We can even look at how the smart link looks. So we click on open. This is what people will see when they click on the ad on Instagram. Great. So now just to show you, we go back to Ads Manager and here we have it. Intelligent, sheltered, test campaign, broad targeting, and the house music targeting. And that's it. So if this sounds something that you want to try it, use the code BFCM35 to get 35% discount off for life. Just a heads up, this is the cheapest that it will ever be, so make sure you lock it in before the sale ends. And there you have it. So just to recap, release consistently every 4 to 6 weeks, drive real targeted listeners to your songs, spike your track popularity score, let your artist popularity score rise, repeat the cycle for compounding growth, and finally use Meta Ads or Intelligent if you want an automated time-saving solution for you. If you follow this system, you will dramatically increase your chances of triggering Spotify's algorithm in 2026, so you can actually start building your real fan base. If you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe and like this video. Keep growing and I will see you on the next one.